waged and fought through victory and pain. By test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracum. Though great and diverse be our ethnicities, the bonds that unite us are stronger than these. We dine, we pray, we love, we dance and we play. We relate to each other the West Indian way. Today as a people united as one, determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon, the future now firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracum. Hele, hele, bravo. Hope you sing Caracum. Lefe, lefe, bravo. Naki you drum Caracum. Tabu ya tabu abo. Hope you sing.
Welcome, brothers, welcome, sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start that program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, or any topical issue of the day, we will speak about it. And we encourage you to give us a call. You too can introduce your own subject matter. The number to call is 442-0175. 442-0175. And you can get us on our Facebook page, Francis Pierre, and also Real FM. Yeah, remember the number to call is 442-0175. What is new? What is trending? Grenada never have a dull moment. And it seems this is the political season. Yesterday in the NNP convention, I listened to the voice of Akimo Paul and Mia Motley. Well, I get accustomed to Mia Motley. She's one of the women in the Caribbean that I believe has added to the leadership in the Caribbean. You know, it's not every day you have good leaders, you know. Sometimes leaders are rare and far between and scarce. Take the United States of America now. They don't have no good leadership there. All the leaders, they are pretty mediocre. In the Caribbean, this period of time, Mia Motley is a welcome admitting to the fold. You have Ralph Gonzalez in St. Vincent, Kit Mitchell in Grenada, and Mia Motley has joined this group. Rowley is struggling still to get things settled down in Trinidad, and Wholeness in Jamaica seems to be embroiled in a lot of conflicts. He and the Maroon village have conflicts. I don't think Wholeness is showing good leadership in dealing with the Maroons. He's correct in his position. You can have a state between his state. But the attitude of Wholeness is very, I think it's violent. I think his expressions is just as the Maroon expression. So definitely there seems to be a leadership void in the Caribbean. So the presence of Mia Motley in the main player in the world stage is good. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good day, sir. Hello.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Right, welcome. Yeah, I realize you don't know subject matter, but I just want to congratulate the new National Party for such a successful convention yesterday. It was well attended. And then, first time in this nature where we don't Zoom, and it was, although it's strange to most people, but it still come out successful. It was very good. And I want to say to people of this country, the next election, we don't know when it will be called, will be decided on leadership. Leadership will play the most important role, experience leadership. Because if you listen to what Motley said, the world would not be back as normal as it was, and we have crisis in this place, and we need men with experience. So I want Grenadians to be wise and understand. It's not who you like, it's who could manage the country in the proper way it should be managed, not about who young and who old and who this. Is proper management. Otherwise, Grenada will go right back down to the pace we have it at this time. I don't know if you agree with me.
Well, you remind me of a fella that decided to pray. He pick up a girl in the community. He parents in like the girl. He's a nice, decent little church boy. So they decided to go pray for him. So let's say the girl name is Mabel. So you say, well, they pray in the church, come praying for him to get another girl because they have an ex-girl there already, But he asked God, please, send him the right girl. And he said, God, make sure it's Mabel you send me. But my friend, to a certain extent, I agree with you. You need maturity. A lot of people mistake maturity for age. But you need maturity. You need to know that the people we are supporting have a track record of involving politics, or they have been agitating, or even if these people are brand new. We must hear the thoughts. We must hear the philosophy. We must hear the position and the strategy. And they must, you see, what in your mind and what in your thoughts, we could only interpret it when it comes in your speech. So I agree with you.
The Prime Minister said, you don't know if this, whoever they say, the other side say they have a leadership, they just come, is a parachute, or you call it, just come from the top somewhere and just land. Not so. We have to hear your track record. You never lead a flock of sheep. You never lead nothing. Dr. Mitchell has been a leader. He lead cricket. He lead all kind of different things. You don't lead nothing. Nobody never hear your record. And just going to say, you is the man. I think Grenadians, be careful. I beg in Grenadians. Now is the time, so you go hear a lot of politics. In the next few days, you go hear a lot of politics from me when I raise my topic, because I believe we need to be educated. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, well, the question is, as the Prime Minister was saying yesterday, seats are not for sale. You have a democratic process in Grenada that has been working. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
How everything?
Great, man.
Yeah, I want to congratulate NMP for a peaceful convention and a successful convention. A convention is well properly organized. I want to say to the Ghanaian people, you have a party that know how to organize, a party that know how to lead. And one day I could say, when NMP organize something, there will no problem. It's a peaceful facilitate and peace and unity. And all the delegates from the 15th constituency was there to do what they have to do. Right? Yeah, not as some party have where they defranchise some delegate because they decide because of that candidate that they're going to vote for certain candidate. But within NNP, there always be peace and love, and always they have a track record, always getting things going good. And when the delegates are united, the candidate or the caretakers they united and they understand the situation, they understand the task that they have to do and they have to perform to bring prosperity and development for the Ghanaian people. So I would say congratulations to this wonderful activity that took place Sunday. Although you're virtual, but we enjoyed it and it was successful. So I say this is the way to go. Where you have a convention, there is no argument. No one calling out the next day and condemning what took place because everybody was satisfied and the police were going in the convention.
Thank
so
you.
Well done.
Yes. Thank you very much, Kala. And Grenadians have to get used to the technology. I know it perhaps is a challenge for the older folks using the modern day technology, but the quicker we get used to the technology is better for everybody. These are the days when you would have to use your telephone to carry out transactions in the bank. You have Zoom meetings to send information to the medical doctor. You may have to tell him everything about you before you go and visit him. So we have to get used to the technology. And I believe that a lot of parents could work with your children, hold communication with your children. Because the children are using the technology on a daily basis, they're very knowledgeable. You would surprise what your 5-year-old could do with this technology. So take some time off and encourage your children to help you. I know it is a challenge for older folks, but you cannot run away from it. You cannot deny it. Even in the politics, you have to be subjected to modern day technology. People are speaking from miles away, and you in the confines of your home listen. So this is a very progressive time and a very dynamic period, and we have to be careful. We have a war going on in miles and miles away from us. That is Russia and Ukraine. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good day, sir. How you doing?
Great, man.
And good day to the listening audience there. Yesterday, the NNP had the convention, and it was held under the theme, Try, Trusted, and Deliver. Well, when you look at the track record of the NNP, I think they have been tried, yes, people try them, and so many times. From 95, almost 22 years in power. But when they talk about trusted, I've seen the trust in that administration when you look at the track record. From 1999, with all the banks, the offshore banks, Cap Bank, look at the amount of money that has to be paid to public servants in court claim. Look at the Dasset issue. Millions have to be paid to him. The Gemma Bain Thomas issue. And you are telling me that you are trusted when you manage the economy in such a state? Who's going to be paying back all those monies? Isn't our children? So the team, trusted in that part of the team, I don't think it's accurate.
Why you don't think trusted is accurate for in a democratic process for a group that people select with all the seats?
Mr. Pierre, when you look at the track record, I mentioned that before. Look at the track record. Yes, we tried them. Yes, now election is around the corner. They are trying to deliver, yes. But you cannot, this party administration cannot be trusted.
Just a minute. Between the it's two main political parties we have in Grenada, and your point is on trusted.
Yeah.
In the NNP and the NDC, which party you think people trusted more?
Based on the social stratification of the population, I will have to answer that question. Because there is a mentality here in Grenada that has been created whereby people rely on easy come, easy go. So based on that kind of politics, I could answer that question. You understand where I'm coming from?
Then please answer me.
So based on social stratification and based on poverty, based on social class like the working class, I think that NNPs gravitate to these people more.
So they're not wrong when they say they trusted.
But maybe these people cannot see or are aware of what is happening in Parliament.
Are we saying that the majority of people in Grenada cannot see?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But if people get more involved in the political affairs, in the current affairs issue, get more involved in bills, in legislation, in Parliament, amendment, I think they would make better choices at the end of the day.
What's about delivering?
Well, I could see the delivery now, as I said now, because it's election, we're in election mood, and everywhere you go, you can see the delivery. They have delivery in terms of infrastructure development from 95.
So you don't have no serious objection that the team they have seems to appeal to the majority of people?
No. The team not, when you look at NMP, they're not attracted to, as I said, different social strata in our population.
Thank you very much. It's a very
But
good...
last point, the
Okay.
caller before me, sorry, I won't take long. The caller mentioned about fighting and infighting with candidates. But could he mention what is happening in the St. Patrick's West constituency? Is there a candidate or a caretaker there for the NMPs yet? I would like to know that.
Okay, I think maybe the caller might call back because in my program, you have an opportunity to punch and punch back.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good day,
Yeah,
sir.
yes, thank you very much.
Bye.
That's a very important and interesting comment. And this is one of the things I say politicians in Grenada have to be extremely guarded. When in a small 2x2 country like Grenada, with a shrinking population, that you stratify and divide this public. You know, I remember as a young boy, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Go right ahead.
if that person just call and listen, they would have known. There were more than 3 or more now, they were caretaker for the St. Patrick West constituency. Right? And when you ask him the question about trust, which one will you trust? Like I take an example, like if you are two batsmen, eh?
But he did say, he did answer that, eh? And
Exactly.
he said, and he gave a qualifier, he said why.
You say why?
Yes,
so
so
then
we
you
have
still
to
have a
respect his opinion.
I respect him.
Yeah.
Right? We won't check it.
Yeah.
You still say, well, like, NMP don't mutual move. But when you check two parties, NMP reaches more to the working class. NMP don't, when in government, they always said they are there
But that is what
to
he
serve
said.
the people of Grenada Caribbean competing.
But that is what he said.
Yeah, I want
He
to know
said
about,
it's
but
because of
I
the
want to speak-
stratification.
Yeah, I want to speak about mostly about the candidates,
Yeah.
the caretakers. There's a
Okay.
caretaker up there, more than a woman, 3 or 4 weeks.
What is his name?
Victor Philip.
Okay.
Mr. Philip.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yes, the number to call is 4420175. And you could call and punch. And we encourage people to call. We just want us to be respectable, to one another. And remember, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
I tend not to support the caller before. One that said that cannot be trusted. I tend not to support him. I agree that MMT would have made mistakes along
But he
the
put
way.
in all fairness to him, he put a qualifier. When I asked him, he said, because of the stratification, he said the majority of people perhaps trust them.
So if the majority trust them, then they can be trusted.
Well, yeah, but not everybody. So,
Well, you will never expect to get everybody to be trusted. In your own home, you don't have everything being trusted.
he thought that the team, he didn't have much issue with the team. He was just basing that the question of trust is based upon their social strata.
Well, that you could take that into anybody.
Yeah.
No one in the world is totally trusted.
No one is perfect.
No one is totally trusted. So if you take that to the rest of the world, the same thing. I agree. And NMP would have made mistakes, and there are something that they've done that they have to be accounted for. That's no problem. There are something that is done that have to be accounted for. Like you say, the Gemma Bain thing and whatnot. If the persons were right and they have to be paid, they have to be paid, and they should be paid, by all means. But to say that they are not being trusted, if you are accepting that the majority trust them, then where are you? So I agree with him that NMP make mistakes and I would do the wrong along the line. He talk about it because the election is close, the projects are on. That cannot be true. If we look at the projects that are on, it's projects that was delayed, projects that, for instance, the Western Main Road have not started yet, and it's a project that was supposed to be done since before, long before. For that matter, it was supposed to be done since in the NDC time. So a lot of work that is being done now, the feeder roads that is on, that was work that was supposed to be done since in the NDC time and NMP. So there were allocations for these funds for this. So you cannot say that. The salaries that people receive now was salaries that was negotiated long before. So to make that statement is not right at all. It's not right, because a lot of things 2 years ago.
We always have to remember people express their opinion and
I don't get the gentleman's opinion. I'm saying I have no against their opinion. What I'm saying is that what he said is not quite true. And if you want to take 100% for what he said, it cannot be given. That's what I'm saying. I'm not doubting that he would have done some bad times and have done things wrong. That is understanding. But the projects, to say that the projects that are being done now is because of election, it is not true. We cannot prove that. This time around, most schools have been repaired in Grenada, even under the COVID. Even under the COVID, most schools have been repaired in Grenada than any other time. Check it and we will see. Every parish got repair schools, and lots of money was spent on those schools. Can we say it's because election is in the air, those schools are being repaired? The government said that they had a problem with the roads, that the material was not good, and that we was getting some deteriorate work. And I accept that some of the work on the road was not up to standard. They agree that they was going to upgrade it, and they're looking to put on a new plant, and that is in the making, or is made already. So you can't say that is an election campaign strategy. No. We have seen better constructed roads to an extent now. Is it done because of election? No. So I don't think the gentleman was totally right. His idea is, and you have a right to it, but he was not totally right.
All right. Thank you, caller. Yeah. Yes. We just to make a comment on that, we live in a very short election cycle. Election in Grenada is every 5 years. And whether Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Barbados, in recent time, all of them have not been finishing the 5-year cycle. They tend to call election a little before. Some people argue that we should have a fixed date for election because the incumbent could always use the election date as a weapon, call it when it best suits them. We saw Mia Motley. I didn't agree with Mia Motley calling election that early in Barbados. But Mia Motley called election before 4 years. And she won back all the seats. In Grenada now, I always say, anytime 4 years reach, as far as I am concerned, there is no surprise election. Because governments would take within this 1 year to use the best and most opportune time to the benefit of the incumbent. And why? And the opposition in Grenada agrees that they prefer the election be called at the beckon of the prime minister. They agree with it. And I guess they believe that when their turn comes and they're in power, they would like to use it to their advantage too. Some people always say this is for election. This cycle is so short that I hardly even bother with that. Governments tend to take some harsher decisions, policy and macroeconomic decisions in the first 2 or 3 years. And since that 3 years finish, 2.5 years finish, the government is again preparing for election. So yes, the opposition will always say that, but I don't necessarily encourage anybody or tell anybody to say that, or not tell anybody, but agree with them. Because you're in power for 4 years, and one of your main objectives is to win election again. Forbes Bonham said, no incumbent supposed to lose election. And I agree with Forbes. Some people believe that statement, give the impression that Forbes Bonham was corrupt. But I say no. If you win the election once, you should not lose your seat again. Because you should obey the dictates of the majority of people in the country. One man, one vote. I'm not paying no attention, or I will pay very little attention to the few people who may not even go and vote. I pay a lot of attention to the majority of people. Who is the majority of people in your country? The people who come from the lower socio-economic strata. And this is what a lot of Grenadians have a problem with. When I hear somebody has portion, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Welcome, brother.
Yeah, welcome. You make a big mistake there, man. Because in your you say nobody on the face of the earth perfect. But the Almighty make everybody in his own image and likeness in perfectness. You know, so before when people think or say something, they say anything discretion or angry or what, they don't even thinking before they say. So plenty, the majority of people in the world don't think before they talk. So they just talk and just say things. But if you think before you do something or say something, you're perfect, and not because you have a guideline to live by, your whole life by. And as long as you live in your life by that guidance, and you know you pray, and you know them things and them, your life is perfect. So all man is perfect. They're just people who doubt in their perfectness.
All right, thank you very much, caller. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, yeah, okay.
Well, this one I have to call in the theologians and some of them psychologists to help me with this one. This one perhaps is a whole new principle in philosophy, because I have learned all my life that all of us fall short of the glory of God, and we are not perfect. Right now, Mahatma Gandhi, the great Mahatma Gandhi, if we are speaking about him now, people consider him as a racist. People are showing down statues of Mahatma Gandhi in Africa because some of his racial statements against black people. And Mahatma Gandhi was hailed once. Some people now will call Mahatma Gandhi a pedophile. And Mahatma Gandhi was well respected. Martin Luther King followed the principles of Mahatma Gandhi. And to a certain extent, Mandela in Africa followed also Mahatma Gandhi principles. I grew up in a house with a picture of Mahatma Gandhi and Eric Matthew Geary. In a home where my parents was not very, how they used to put it, they hardly could have read and write, but they were very knowledgeable about Mahatma Gandhi and hold him in great respect. So from then, I learned no one is perfect. When they went to Christ and they call him good Father, good Lord, he said no one is good. All of us fall short of the glory of God. We make mistakes. So, Chief, I'll have to go back and give your expression some thoughts. But no, I believe none of us is perfect. All of us fall short of the glory of God. Good people as do wrong things. And bad people as do a lot of good things. 2 men break open a man's place, stick him up with gun and a cutlass. The old man fall down with a heart attack. The one with the gun put on the gun and resuscitate the man. And the next one called the ambulance. The ambulance met them inside there, saved the man's life with a mask in their face, and police picked them up. They went to kill the man, yeah, but then they saved the man. So we always have to work together and remember that and strive for perfection. But remember, we may fall short, you know? So I think that is important. Give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175, and we speak about anything. Yes, and we were on the issue of trust and talents. What the NNP main words were tested, tried, and delivering. And to a certain extent, everybody seems to agree that the majority of people in Grenada trust the NNP. And you have to look at the records. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good day again.
Yes, my brother.
Well, I want to, you may not be able to answer me, but where was that man when the referendum was called, Deacon Mitchell? Because he said now that where he was when we had the referendum saying we go have a fixed date, a prime minister shouldn't be, and now he's calling and say Kid Mitchell there too long. I want to know if this man was in Grenada. Where was that man? I don't know if anybody could answer me, because when I thought thing on your station, somebody might have nobody. Where was them? NDC jump up and say, we win, we win, we win. They asked everybody to vote no, 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 no to everything. And today, they want to come now back to what they condemn and say one man in office too long. So I don't know if you have any idea where he was at the time when this thing going on. You might be able to help me.
Yes, caller, thank you. We had an opportunity to amend the Constitution, and we choose not to. And that is our democratic right. You have to respect that. The majority of Grenadians said, leave the Constitution as it is. We satisfied with it the way it is. We like the Queen. Ruggles Ferguson and Francis Alexis practically cry and beg the lawyers to support it. They say, no, we trust the Privy Council. We do not trust the CCJ. They asked people to vote to amend the spelling of Petit a Petit Matnik. They said no. They asked people to pledge allegiance to Grenada. They said no, we like the Queen. They asked for the Prime Minister to have a specific term, maybe 2 or 3 terms, I can't remember. They said no. They vote no 8 times. We have been trying to make amendment to the Constitution for 40 years. It is not easy. As a democratic country, we must respect the majority of people. If the majority say no, is no. So right now, this is a non-issue. After the election, people may want to make a try again to see if they could change it. I think you have to give people a couple of years well enough to make up their mind if they want to continue with the Queen and to make changes to the Constitution. So I don't think anybody saying no. I think we're just really making unnecessary statements with no value in it. All the politicians who wanted amendments and change, their voices should be loud and clear. And if they remain silent, then the other thing that I say in the church, hold your peace. So I think presently better they hush them out on that till election finish, and then you have maybe a referendum again. You see, Grenada is not like Barbados. For you to amend the constitution in Grenada, you have to have 2/3 of the parliamentarians vote for it. And you have to have 2/3 of the electorate voting. 2/3 of the electorate that vote must say yes. So it's very difficult to amend the constitution in Grenada and St. Vincent. In Barbados, all you need is, like Mia Motley went to Parliament and changed it. Grenada is different. And the majority of Grenadians, they prefer to leave the constitution as it is. And I think we have to respect them and go with it. Taking a quote from, we must excel in the environment that we have. Yes, some people may not agree, but the majority agree, so we work with the majority. Yes, you could give us a call. The number to call is 442-017. And you could raise your own topic or speak on any issues. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas, I think his name is Davis Brave, Philip Davis Brave or something. He decided to raise in CARICOM the fallouts as a result of the conflict in Ukraine. Now there's a war going on in Ukraine, and it will affect us here. We didn't cause the war. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good day, sir. How you doing?
Good, man. Great.
Yeah. Something I recognize about we Grenadians, yeah? And before I say that, I would like to shout out all respect to Mr. Dixon Mitchell. I know this young man for a very long time, and, you know, I respect him a lot. He's a very cool young man. Now, if we got to speak about politics right now, right, something I could surely say, right, something I realize was going on in Grenada. I could tell you that if Mr. Dixon Mitchell had decided to go and join the NMP instead of going and join NDC, do you know that 90% of the NDCites would have the worst thing to say about him? And that is something that's not healthy for us at all. You understand? Now he joined the NDC and he's the best person. And I'm saying that if he had joined the NMP, they would have the worst set of things to say about this man. And it's the other way around too, you know. It happened the other way around too, you know. It happens the other way around too. But all in all, I wish him good luck, and I would like to say that, you know, I'm very impressed with the convention last night. That was a very good one and stuff, you know. And I wish best for my country. That is all I want to say. I wish best for my country. May the best party win. Whosoever there, please go there. Whosoever win the election, please go there and do good for Grenada. Please. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. And I like your comments. You see, democracy could be a very polarizing thing, you know, because you have two parties, two sides. In Grenada context, is two main political parties. So we have to encourage people to make their comments but respect one another. I think this is the key, because each side is selling the case. They're bringing the issue to the public for the public to make a decision. And the public here is the man on the street, the man who is a criminal, the man who is a drug addict, a vagrant, the mother with 5 or 6 children, the ordinary rustic, the farmers, the fishermen, the lawyers. You selling your case to them. And as a leader, you mustn't have thin skin. I think that is one of the criteria of a good politician. I've seen 3 main politicians that took a battering in this country. I'm not talking about Eric Gary. Eric Gary is a master. But Dr. Keith Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, and Nazim Buck, they took a battering. They set the template for criticism. So politicians who putting up themselves as leader, they must expect people will go after them and scrutinize them. When you go in politics today, you open your closet door. The quicker you come out and tell people what in the closet is better for you. You're going to hear more attacks on the deacon. I have not said anything about the deacon yet, and I express my opinion on all politicians. The deacon is new to politics, so very few people know him. I've never seen him in real life. I only saw him on social media. But if he comes in politics, you expect to hear his philosophy, his position on social issues, his position on religious issues, his position on religious tolerance, on sexual liberalism. This is a new era. And because he's new to politics, much people don't know what he stands for. And obviously, his main supporters and the people who are advising him have to prepare him for that. He has been, I think, about 3 months now in the politics. The quicker he comes out and let the public know who he is better for him. Longer he stay, more you might hear rumors. So you're going to find people going after the deacon as they went after Nazim Buck, as they go after Gregory Bowen, as they relentlessly attack Kit Mitchell. And that is Grenada politics. If you follow Mia Motley, they brutalized Mia Motley in Barbados. You know. At one time, our own party church. You know. So, you know, this is what makes you good as a politician. You have to know, and it's a good thing too, to a certain extent. You want to know whether your leader could stand pressure. Because a political leader have immense power. You can afford to have a vindictive and vengeful leader. So you have to test if he's vengeful now. An old man tell me once, you never know a man good if you don't have free food and free alcohol. He says some people not drinking rum, but anytime it's free, they're getting drunk. He says if you have free food, you see a man with 2 roti, 1 in the pocket. And this old man believe nothing is wrong. He could accept a greedy woman, but he cannot accept a greedy man. So he said, unless you don't have free food and free drinks, you don't know a man. And this individual was not well lettered. Anytime you speak to him, he's going to inform you, I'm not well lettered. And the most beautiful ex I saw in my life is from him. So they had their own little cliche, their own little wisdom, their own little philosophy, irrespective of the command they had on English language. You know, you can give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. We're on Real FM 91.9. Yes, so, you know, the deacon is going to get some criticism. In fact, the deacon have not yet been criticized. The deacon have not yet been criticized. The quicker the deacon tell people about his philosophy, what he stands for, his strategy, is still as far as I'm concerned, the deacon is still in a cocoon. He don't come out yet. And his name is in the forefront of the politics for the last 3 years. For the last 3 months. For the last 3 months. And the euphoria, it almost seems as an anticlimax now. He should make use of that energy in the first 2 months to sell himself. Maurice Bishop was a great orator. Maurice Bishop was up and down this country speaking, and he remained quite a long while before he ran for politics. So people know him, and he was a great spokesman. And some of the things that he propagated, he said. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Yes,
Hi,
caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you?
Great, man. Good.
A few days ago, you were speaking about the legalization of marijuana. Is that correct?
Yeah, decriminalization, legalization.
Legalization, criminalization,
Yeah.
whatever. And I know you take any subject.
Any matter.
My concern is not about the legalization. And I believe the time has come to legalize it. The problem here is how do we educate people to manage the use of marijuana? The biggest problem we are facing day by day, people lack the ability to manage. So they like it, they use it, they abuse it, and it destroys them. Same with alcohol. You see some people, alcohol destroy. So by legalizing marijuana, and I have no problem with it, I think we should have done it long time, but I firmly believe there is a need to develop management skills in people. Because the same food that is good for you is bad for you. The same drug that is good for you and can make you feel good, if you overuse it, it can be detrimental to you. And for a long time I've been saying we need to revamp education, and particularly the question of management. How do you educate and train people to manage their life, manage what they use, so you get the benefit out of it? If you're going to use something and ultimately it doesn't benefit you, then you have a problem. I've heard that there are a number of people who smoke even cocaine, but when you see them, you don't know that they use the hard drug. And I believe the reason is because they're managing it. They're not overusing it. So I think what needs to be done in all of this process is to get down to the root cause. It's about management, that you know how much you could take. It's like right now, some people can only take one drink of alcohol. Some can drink 50. So you must know what you're capable of doing. And unless we get that done, we might have a lot more problem. Additionally, we can have a lot of problem where you have pretty last thing you will move from the vegetables and the fruits, and pretty last thing may be marijuana. So we have to be prepared for that. We need to go forward with it, but we have to be prepared and put in place all the strategies that it will not have any adverse effect when it is legalized.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. I think I'm in full agreement with you on that. And that's my disappointment, because I believe, particularly for my Rasta brothers, they should be looking now at the economic value of marijuana. And some people should be advising our young people that you cannot smoke 9 spliff a day. I've been in conversation with a number of men trying to get one on my program that like to smoke 9 spliff a day and saying you cannot do that. You know, it's only a matter of time that marijuana will be legalized. CARICOM has taken a decision to work towards legalization and saying every country going to go at their own pace. So government introduced a first bill in Parliament about decriminalization, and I guess it will be for medicinal purpose and recreational purpose, and they might give you 2 trees that you could grow. But I want about 10 trees to grow, because I like to watch marijuana. I don't like to consume it. But all the same, we have to entreat, we have to do everything in our power to tell our young children, if you continue to use all this weed, you'll end up in the madhouse. You cannot consume all this weed. We have to tell our young girls in particular, if you consume marijuana, if you eat it in the food, if you eat it in the forge form, you never custom. You might go to sleep and you may not remember when you wake up. And when you wake up, you might pray to God that you go back and sleep again. Because marijuana slows you down, marijuana could make you sleepy, marijuana could make you hallucinate, and marijuana could also make you don't remember where you started to consume it. And this is not a joke. Parents have to be speaking to their children. They have to be speaking to their children. You know, there are food-grade substances that is sold in the school in Ticolor by the lick. I don't think any other school in Grenada have that. And maybe no teacher don't know about that. Young children are selling food-grade substance to you 3 years and 5 years and 6 year old for 25 cents in the hand by the lick. And the concentration of these foodstuff is considered a drug. People inhaling domestic gas in Australia. I think the people we might call the natives, they're inhaling contact cement glue. There's so much of substance that is legal that people are consuming to get a high. You know, so people, I agree, it's a whole question of education. It's not an issue to play politics with. I really sorry for Rastaman because they bear the brunt of the crucifixion. They are being crucified, sorry. They bear the brunt of the sacrifice. They carried over the years. They were sent to prison. Their homes were burned down. The police call it hot. They went to prison as lambs walking into the slaughterhouse. They told the magistrate they ain't dealing with money. The magistrate just sent them in jail. Maurice Bishop jail, a number of them in Hopeville, after he promised he's going to legalize it. So the question is education. We should never attempt to play politics with this one. We have to educate our people. Parents, don't stay and hide behind. Come in front, get information, talk to your children. The preachers in the church, some of them wish we legalize marijuana and everybody get drunk in the first 2 weeks to go and say in the church, you see, the world going 666, mark of the beast. The Bible tell you 1 day is like 1,000 years. So the world could end in the next 2 million years. What will happen to us if the world ends in the next 2 million years? So I agree with you, Kenny. And Kenny, you're welcome to join me anytime without notice. Join me on my program. Either you come or you could call on our program because I honestly believe we could make a difference. We could change things. We could get people start discussing the issue. And leaders in particular, leaders, you have to tell us what your position is and tell us how we're going to make money on how we're going to turn marijuana consumption to an economic reality. Do we want to consume all the weed for ourselves or do we want to sell it? Because the medical doctors will tell you that marijuana have its negatives. And we have to be careful about that. And we're back with you again tomorrow and the other days in the week. Between 12 and 1, we have our conversation on target. We speak about anything. We encourage people to punch. We want to practice economy with this program. So you just punch. You make your issues, and we take as much colors as possible. And we have our opinion. We're going to try our best to respect one another. But you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me at all. You could just call me and tell me you don't agree with me. Because this is the conversation we want in the country. When we finish, we must be walking around with one another. We don't have to have enemy. Let us not preach hate. We could preach love, but we could disagree. The democratic system provides for difference of opinion. And we always encourage people to sit down and discuss issues. Thank you very much.
Building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high. Sing of your courage.